Environmentalist. Thanks for joining us today. I know it's a little bit of a strange bank holiday weekend this weekend. It's very windy, not like the ones we've had recently, where we've been able to get out and about into our gardens and enjoy our lovely environments. But today I thought I would come inside. I've got a lovely view of my garden still, so I'm still embracing nature and the outdoors. But today I thought it would be really exciting to do a big build bonanza. So today we're going to be making our very own teepees. So this is a really great way to be able to engage with nature indoors and outdoors. Hi Carolyn, I see that you're watching as well. Brilliant. Thanks for joining everyone. We've got quite a few followers already. So this activity is really great, like I said, to bring the outdoors indoors, but it's also great to be able to do this outside as well. So it's a really versatile craft. You can place your teepees outdoors when it's not as windy as it is today, or you can bring it indoors and put it maybe in the corner of a room, decorate it and have it as a permanent structure in a room as well. So what you're going to need to build your teepee is only very few basic materials. You're going to need some string, you're going to need some pieces of stick, some wood, and you're also going to need some scissors to cut the string to the right size, maybe a bed sheet to put over it to decorate it, some cushions and a blanket and some soft cuddly toys to stuff on the inside once it's all done and dusted. I've also got a little bit of greenery to decorate the outside of my teepee. I love it when it's all decorated on the outside. Also, to go along with today, like every week, I love my quizzes, so I'm going to bring my big animal shelter quiz to you. So this is all going to be about animals who are architects. So they are creators of fantastic structures, and we're going to test our knowledge to see if we can figure out who a few of these amazing animals are. So first of all, before I start asking any of the quiz questions, I'm going to show you some of the items that you do need. Now, in my introduction video the other day, I said that bamboo canes are perfect to make the base of your structure, and I'm not wrong, they are fantastic. So if you've got some bamboo canes, I have 4 just to make the base structure of my teepee. I'll show you down on the canvas. I've assembled it, it's all on the floor, so you'll be able to see I've got sticks of different sizes laid out in ascending order. So I'll go from the smallest all the way down to the biggest, and I've got the string laid out right next to them so I know where each piece is going on my teepee. So it's all in order. Hopefully that means it should all go smoothly. Fingers crossed. So before I get started, I'm going to ask my first quiz question of the day. So my first question for you to all ponder whilst we get started is, what does a leaf-nosed bat make its roost out of? What does a leaf-nosed bat make its roost out of? Pop your answers in the comments below, and my glamorous assistant who I have with me today will be able to shout out any answers that we get. So again, what does a leaf-nosed bat make its roost out of? Answer in the comments below. So let's get started on our teepee construction. It's very exciting. So we're going to start off with 2 bamboo canes. And you want to start out by assembling them almost in a triangle shape with a bit crossed over the top. Hello Alicia, thanks for joining us. So we've got them joined just at the top like this. You want to have it crisscrossed over the top, a bit like the traditional wigwams you might have seen photos of or seen in person. So you want to have that V shape at the top with an intersection in the middle. And you want to be able to use your string there. I've got my string just here to be able to secure these 2 pieces together. So this is going to start to form the base structure of our teepee. Let me undo the knot on this string, and we'll start to form it together. So I'm going to get my string in half just like that, so it's even on both sides, and then I'm going to start wrapping it underneath and then wrapping it over the top. And I'm going to do the opposite side with this as well, the other side of the string as well. So I'm going to start to form these 2 tips together really nicely. Nice and secure. It will wobble a little bit, but don't worry, that's mainly because we've not got the other 2 sticks in place just yet. So I'm going to wrap it around. You can either wrap it round the middle, or you can go over over the top and under and back over. I like to go over the top and back under because it just makes it a little bit more secure. But then I also like to go around the middle as well too. Fabulous. There we go. I'm going to tie that together just at the back here. Going to go round the front and then tie it just at the back. Now don't worry that it's not too strong and stable at the minute. Like I said, it still needs the other two bits in place. So I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see. I've just done a big knot there. Fantastic. Fabulous. Glamorous assistant, have we got any comments? Anyone answered my questions as of yet? I know it wasn't working properly the other week, so let's have a little look. Grab those two other canes as well. And your other piece of string too. So you've got your two front pieces, just like this right here. They will go up and down a little bit, in and out a little bit, so don't worry, we've got to get these two other pieces in place first to stop that from happening. So you're going to grab your two other canes, just like this, and you're going to do exactly the same, thread them through, so they make a V shape, but they go through the middle of the first two pieces. So they start to form that traditional wigwam shape. Now these sticks, these bamboo canes are going to be the support. They're going to help balance out your wigwam, your teepee. So they need to be a little bit further back, just like that. And then you're going to start off by securing them the same way that you did to the other two poles. So you're going to get your string, you're going to tie it halfway round, just like that, so you've got half and half either side, and then you're going to start wrapping it around just to secure it in place. Fantastic. Then I'm going to go underneath and through the middle, again, just to make sure that they are lovely and secure. You can see my teepee now is starting to not move as much, which is exactly what we want. Brilliant. So I've wrapped it all around. It will still be a little bit wobbly, so do not worry if it is. We have the side struts to go in place to stop that from happening. Fabulous. There we go. So I've got kind of the shape of my teepee already, but don't worry, it's a little bit wobbly because it's on a wooden floor. Normally outside it stays up in one go, but the floor's a bit slippy today. So don't worry that it is still a little bit unsteady. You've still got to put those wooden struts on the side to make it more secure and in place. Any comments so far?
Lead the way, if that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, that's Jamie's one. Hi, Jamie's one.
Is it mud?
Oh, is it mud for a tent nose bat, for a nest for the bat question? What was the question again? What does a leaf nose bat make its roost start off? Actually, it's not mud, Liddy, it is leaves. So what these amazing animals do when they want to build their own home, like we're building our wonderful structure, they nibble the middle of the leaves, and then the leaves collapse in on themselves, and they make a little tent, so they can sit underneath, disappear, and not be seen by any predators, and have a nice little sleep in the tropical rainforest where they're found. Very, very cool. Love that one. Well done for answering that. So we've got our structure in place, so it's time for our second quiz question. Why is the home of a bowerbird so special? What do they do to their home that makes it so special? They're a very particular bird, so what does the bowerbird do to make their home so special? Oh no, there's the teepee, she's going. So I think it's time for us to get our supports in place. So I'm going to start off with my right hand side supports. Now I've got my biggest stick in place first, that's the bottom of your structure, and we'll work our way all the way up to make sure this is strong and in place as well. If there's any other comments, Glamorous Assistant, feel free to read them out for me. Fantastic. So I'm going to start off at the base of my structure. This is a little bit more difficult to see from the angle of the camera, so I am going to bring it down. You're going to get a glorious view of my floor. Fantastic. So you can see here we've got our stick right on the very end, and I want to make sure that it is taking the whole length of the teepee up, and this way then I know I'm as secure as it can be. It won't be going anywhere, especially because it is held in place with all of these wooden struts. So, I've now got my string, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use this string to wrap around the edges to make sure it is secure and in place. So I am going to lift it off the ground a little bit. I don't want my wooden struts to be touching the floor. I want them to be raised up a little bit. So I'm going to pull my legs out a little bit. I'm going to wrap my string. I'm going to get it in half first. And then I'm going to wrap it round the back of my sticks. And then you can see I've got my 2 bits of string just there resting on my one bit of string even resting on my stick. And then I'm going to cross the string over to make a cross shape on the front. Take it back around the bamboo canes and cross it over again. Bring it back round in front of the log, crossing it over, keeping that crisscross shape. And then I'm going to bring it back round again in front, and I'm going to tie a great big knot in it as soon as I've started to run out of string. So keep doing that until you've got no more string left to be able to tie a knot with. Fantastic.
Alicia says, decorate it with colourful objects that they find different types of bowerbirds.
Alicia has got it! My animal expert. Well done, Alicia. What colour objects, though, are their favourites? What colour object does a bowerbird love to use the most? I like to see the conservationists joining in over there as well.
Paul asked, what's the cat's name?
Oh, Paul, you commented on my cat. That is Cyrus. You can say hi to Cyrus. She's a very hungry cat. She never leaves her food alone. So you can, you might see her popping around every now and again. Fantastic. I'm so glad to see you all joining in, guys. You're going to do exactly the same as you did with the front strut with your back strut. So you're going to lift it off the ground a little bit, wrap it around with a crisscross shape, then go back underneath your log, back around, crisscrossing over both the back and the front, making sure that it is lovely and secure. You should have a nice crisscross pattern that starts to form, so you know you're doing it right if you get that crisscross pattern forming. Fantastic! So there it goes. I've got my first part in place. Let's see if you can see it a little bit better. I'll bring you around. Here we go. You can see I've got that crisscross shape just here on my logs. And that's going to help keep everything in place. So I'm going to bring the camera back on up because I'm going to carry on further up my teepee. I've got my next layer just here. So you can see it's a little bit smaller because as I get my way up the teepee, obviously it gets thinner and thinner till you get to the very top. So I'll get my other piece of string just here. So have we got any other comments, Clara's assistant?
Sue says blue.
Blue! You are spot on. Well done, Sue. Bowerbirds do love to decorate their nests with blue objects. It's one of their favourite things to do. Fantastic. So, it seems what I need, because I've got a very slippy floor, is I am just going to pop my bed sheet under one side to stop my legs from moving as much. That should give me a bit more rigidity. Fantastic. Brilliant. Where did I just put my stick? There it is. So I've got my other stick, my nice big bit of string. I'm going to use my knee now as a support. It's a really good level, this one, for your knee. So you want it up about the knee's height. Fantastic. And I'm going to again wrap it around. Make sure I've got half and half on each side of my string. Wrap it around, crisscross at the front, crisscross at the back. Back underneath the log, over the top, crisscross, back on over, tie it underneath and give it a good knot there as well. I'll get my next bit of string. So well done if you got the bowerbird question right. That's not an easy one, so well done. Got my next bit of string. I'm going to carry on. We're on a bit of a roll at the minute. Don't forget, we've got all the sides to do, minus the front. We've got the 3 sides still to do. So again, half and half for your string, crossing it over the bamboo canes, crossing at the back of the bamboo canes, back underneath the log, over again, crisscross, crisscross at the back underneath, crisscrossing around, if you don't have enough to go over the top of the log again, you can go round the underside and that secures it even more to stop it from sliding down your bamboo cane. Fabulous! So we've got 2 in place so far. So let's see, we've got another quiz question for everybody. What is the name of the structure that beavers build? What is the name of the structure that beavers build? Hopefully you all can get this one right. It's a very commonly known question, answer. So hopefully we can all figure this one out together. I'm going to get my next stick, next level up, and I'm going to tie it just about there. You want to have a little bit of your stick hanging over the edge of the bamboo cane so you can get your strings all the way round. Let me put my other piece of string up here. And again, don't forget, half and half. You want to make sure your string is even on both sides, so when you're wrapping it, you just don't have one length that's shorter than the other. Let's have a little look. Oh, I had a little bit shorter than that one there. Let's have another go. Fantastic. So again, I'm going to go crisscross over the front, crisscross round the back, bring it back underneath, crisscross again over the front, crisscross at the back, bring it round the front, crisscross again. Just keep thinking crisscross, crisscross, that's all you need to do. And that way, that gives you a brilliant seal, big tight seal on your canes.
Andy, Carolyn and Ludo all say dam.
Yay! Well done, Carolyn. Well done, everybody. You all got that spot on. It is a dam that beavers build. Well done. However, the dam is what they build to help protect themselves, especially during the winter so they can get food. But what is the name of the place inside the dam that the beavers live? What's the name of the place inside the dam where beavers live? Got my other bit in place just there. Whew. Am I running out of string or is it just me? Right, got another piece just there. So who can tell me what is the name of the place where beavers live inside of their dam? So we got the easy part. What's the difficult part now? Okay, carry on with your structure there. Just undoing some knots on my string. Fantastic. So you can see it's starting to really take shape now. Back around the front, crisscrossing around the back. I feel like I'm doing that dance, crisscross. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to wrap this around the back. I've got one little bit that's longer than it should be. So
Andy says nest.
Oh, good guess, Andy. Good guess. Good guess. It's actually not a nest. It's a lodge. So they live in a lodge inside of the dam. But good guess, Andy. Well done. Well done. So how many people have we got joining in? Oh, we've got 20 people on my screen. That's amazing. I'm so glad. So we've got our 3 side pieces in place. I'll turn that around so you can all see a little bit what it looks like. 1, 2, 3. And that will start to keep this side really, really strong. I can already feel it's very, very strong on this side. It's not really budging at all. Fantastic. So, there we go. There's those 2 pieces. So I've got one final piece, one small piece, just to put it in on the top. So well done if you got the beaver questions right. They are very, very difficult. Let's do our final piece. Once we've got our final piece on the right-hand side in place, I'll reveal our next quiz question. So I hope you are all enjoying this craft. It is a bit of a big one. I don't go small for a bank holiday. Go big or go home. So this is going to be great, especially to keep a lot of the kids occupied over the bank holiday. Give them a little bit of a fun task to do, and then they can use it loads afterwards as well. So this is a really great item that can be used to help spot birds in your garden. So if you want to hide away This could almost be a bird hide, so you can keep yourself hidden away so the birds can't spot you. That way they're more likely to come into your environment. And then you can go onto the Urban Environmentalist's Facebook page, you can download my Big Bird Guide, and you can spot all the birds that come into your garden. So it's a really, really great tool to be able to do bird watching in as well. Where's my other piece of string? It's all the way up here. Fabulous. So we're almost completed on one side of our teepee. Any other comments coming in, my glamorous assistant? I keep calling you that. My other half is helping with the comments today because I can't build and read at the same time.
Andy said it's posh.
It is very posh. So glad of you to all be joining in as well, especially because I know people can have bank holiday plans. I know not many of us are doing a huge amount at the moment, but it's so nice to see you all joining in as well. And if you weren't all aware as well, guys, the Palm House has actually opened up part of its grounds now. So if you are in the Liverpool area and you are looking for stuff to do and you're in, say, Sefton Park, the Palm House has opened up its outdoor grounds, and it's also got its small cafe going on as well, with all the protective measures put in place, so you can actually go around now and have a little bit of wander around the grounds, go see how beautiful the Palm House is. So it's very, very exciting to feel that bit of normality coming back into place. Hooray! We've got one side of our teepee all done and dusted. So I'm going to start on the back piece now. That's this big chunk here. And again, exactly the same as what we've done on this side. We're just going to transfer it around here, again, working from the bottom all the way up to the top. So let me get my biggest stick right here. So you might realise now that the way you've put this in place might need just a little bit of altering, a little bit of adjustment to fit your sticks. So I'm going to measure it out here. I need to come in a little bit more, make it a little bit thinner at the back. Brilliant, I've got it spot on here. So I'll bring you down further again so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let me bring you down to my level. Here we go. So, we're in place, and again, I've got my string half and half. I'm going to wrap it around the bamboo cane, and then I'm going to start to crisscross it around the front, send it round the back of my cane, crisscross it again, bring it back round the cane. I don't really want to be wrapping it around the other structure that was on the other side, the base, other part of the base. Try to keep it wrapped around just the piece of wood that you're working with at that moment. Remember to give it a good tight squeeze as well. You want it to be nice and secure. You don't want it to be wobbling around. Keep it crisscrossing over the front, around the back, and then what I do is I wrap it round the base, and then I give it a good knot just there. Fabulous. So we've got one side done. That means it's time for another quiz question. So, how high can a termite build its mound? So termites, I hope you all know, are very well known for their big, huge structures that they build from the bottom of the ground up. So I want to know, what is a termite, how high can a termite build its mound? You can provide your answer in feet or in meters, because that's what I have written on my sheet. So how tall can they build their mounds? That's your next question. I'm going to continue on the other side. Where did I put my piece of string? Here it is. So I'm going to carry on the other side. Oh, brilliant. Here we go. So I've got just enough on the other side there to be able to wrap it round. This might mean as well I shouldn't need my cloth on the floor to stop it from slipping. Laminate floor is a little bit different to the great outdoors. It's a bit more slippy. Fabulous. So there we go. I've got a brilliant tight knot going on over here, going crisscrossing at the back, crisscrossing at the front, round, crisscrossing at the back, crisscrossing at the front again. And then I'm going to wrap it round the base and give it a big knot. You want very tight knots and very secure string on the bottom, because that is going to be what's keeping your structure in place. As you can see just there, oh, that is perfect. And it's staying up, yes! That's always the problem with the teepee. It can fall over, but by doing it this way with crisscrossing your knots, that hopefully will keep it all in place. On to the next level then. Let me bring you back on up because you'll be able to see from the top there. Here we go.
Lewis says it's 2 meters.
2 meters. Good guess, Liddy. Good guess. Ooh, we're a bit far off with 2 meters. Bit far off. Have a guess. I'm going to go up another level now. There we go. So again, you can use your knee on this part as well because it's a great brace. It's just at the right height, especially for me. If you're a bit smaller or a bit taller, I'm 5'6", so should be able to accommodate most people at this point with your knee. So again, make sure it is in half, so you've got the same amount of string on both sides. Then I'm going to wrap it around the base of the bamboo cane underneath the strut that you're putting into place. Going to crisscross it around the front, send it around the back of the bamboo cane, crisscross it around the back of the bamboo cane, bring it back round underneath the strut, then you're going to crisscross it again, crisscross it at the back, bring it back around the front of the strut, crisscross it again, and you should get a lovely crisscross pattern forming. Send it underneath the strut, back over, and I'm going to tie it just underneath there. Fabulous. Other side still to do. Let's leave that string there. So I don't think I'm going to need this for much longer.
Andy says it's 4 meters.
Oh, Andy, let's reveal the answer. It is 4.6 meters. So Andy, you were so close. So well done for such a good guess. 4.6 meters. That is how tall termites can build their nests, build their mounds. So it's very cool stuff. I'm going to cut another piece of string because one of my pieces of string has gone walkies. I'm just trying to see where on earth it's gone. It might be within my bed sheet. So I'm going to cut another piece of string. And that should be perfect for the build. Do we have any other guesses, Glamorous Assistant? Not yet. That's no worries. I think everybody is so preoccupied with building their teepee. Fabulous. I'm going to do the other side of my strut just there. Fabulous. Oh, this one's a bit more fiddly. Let's see. I'll have to wrap it through because my stick is very bent. So there is no right or wrong way with this. I learned that the hard way, thinking, God, I've done it all wrong. It's not going to go. It's not going to stand up. It will stand up. Don't you worry. You might do it a little bit of a different way to me, but that doesn't mean it's wrong or it's not the right way. Everybody does things differently. That's the fun thing with den building. Everybody does it differently, and it can turn out to be an amazing structure that you make. So don't get bogged down with the rules. There we go. So we're getting there now. It's starting to take very good shape. I'm going to get my next set of structures. And my next quiz question is, we know how high a termite can build its mounds, but what is its mound made out of? Who can tell me what is a termite mound made out of? This is a bit of a gross one. That might give you a hint. So what is a termite mound? What is a termite mound made out of? I'll stick my teeth back in, I promise. So I'm going to go on to my next strut now. I'm going to start to wrap my string around that. Oh, if I don't let go of it. There we go. Make sure it's half and half again. I don't want my string to be odd on either side because I want to have a nice tight knot. I want to be able to wrap it around evenly. So again, crisscrossing that, wrap it around your bamboo cane, crisscrossing it round the back, bring it back round the front, crisscrossing it again, back around the back. Hope you can all see that, it's back around the back just there. Crisscross around the front. Don't have enough to go back around the base, so I'm going to do a tight knot just like that. I've got my other piece just here, and I'm going to do the other side as well. So half and half. Let's measure that. Fabulous. Half and half just there. Crisscross around the front, crisscross around the back, take it under, crisscross front, crisscross back, take it under. So a nice little round crisscross front, crisscross back and take it under. Brill. So I don't have enough to go back around, so I'm going to tie my knot just where it is. So any guesses what the termites build their mounds out of? What do they build their mounds out of?
Lizzie says mud and Andy says chewed up wood.
Oh, Lizzie and Andy, you would make a great duo on a pub quiz because you've got half the answers each. So they do use chewed up mud. So they get mud, they chew it all up, and then they actually use their own saliva and they use their own poo as well. Ugh. Not something that I would ideally like to be around. I reckon it'd be pretty smelly. I've never seen a termite mound. It'd be very cool to see one. But I can imagine them to be pretty smelly. So yeah, well done, guys. You are working great as a team there. You would have those answers spot on. Well done if you are answered any of those questions as well at home. I know you all might be a bit preoccupied with building. It's hard to do, how to think and build at the same time. Hence why I have my helper today. Thank you. Thumbs up. So there we go. I've got one of my the final part of the top of my structure there. I'm just going to keep forgetting I put my string up at the top. I'm going to wrap around the other side as well, remembering not to get my right hand side in with this side. I want it to be secure by itself, so I'm going to go underneath and lift it a little bit so it's not touching the right strut, it's standing alone, and then I'm going to wrap it back around the back. It gets a bit fiddly at the top because you've got less space. Back around, wrap it around the front, underneath that strut, back around the front, crisscross, crisscross at the back. Oh, come back to me, string. Crisscrossing around the front. Not got enough to go back around, so I'm going to tie it underneath there. And that is that side of the teepee all done and in place. Ta-da! So it is really coming along now, guys. It's going swimmingly. I'm so pleased. Look at that, and it's standing up without any help from me. This is brilliant. So now that we've answered that quiz question, let me get on to my next one. Well done for all the termite knowledge. I'm very impressed. So, which bird builds the biggest nest in the world? Which bird builds the biggest nest in the whole world? These birds are absolutely beautiful, and I used to work with them a little while ago, and they are absolutely fantastic birds. But which bird is it? So, which bird builds the biggest nest in the world? Pop your answers in the comments below, and we'll get started on the final side of our teepee. Essentially, exactly what you've done on the other two sides. You're just going to repeat. So we're going to go from the bottom all the way up to the very, very top. So I'm going to get my biggest stick. That's this bad boy right here. And I'm going to make sure that my teepee is correctly together, the right length. And what I'll do again is I'll bring you back down to my level. There we go. So you can see exactly what I'm doing. That should be in place. There we go. So you can see here I've got it just there. I might bring you a little bit closer so you can actually see how I'm doing these knots. There we go. Fabulous. So you can see here I'm going to get half of my string. It's a very close-up view. Half of the string, just like this. I'm going to make sure that it is level. So I'm going to bring them together just like this. Pull them together, make sure they're level. I'm going to raise it up a little bit off the ground. And, oh hi Marissa, it's nice to see that you're watching as well. I'm going to bring it up off the ground just like this. I'm going to take my string, I'm going to, you can see it's just around the back of the bamboo cane, just there. I'm going to bring it around the front of my stick like this. And then I'm going to hold the two halves separately, wrap it round the bamboo cane, and then crisscross it over. So I'm hoping you can all see that. So I've crisscrossed it over, and then I'm going to send it back underneath, And then I'm going to crisscross it again. Crisscross it around the back. There you go, pull it tight. Crisscross it around the front. Crisscross it around the back, underneath, crisscross it round. And then I know I don't have enough to go back around, so I'm just going to tie it underneath like that. With a nice big, you can do double or single knots. But as long as you squeeze it nice and tight, then it should be all good. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. It's all in place. So that's just one side done. Let's do the other side. Here we go. So, where's my string? Here we are. Let's bring it a little bit closer. There we go. And you can see the really good thing with this part is that you can balance it on the strut that you've already made previously. So you can balance it on there. But again, remember, you don't want to be using that part to attach your string with this part. You want to have it separate. So go round the back of it and then bring it forward. Go crisscross at the back again, crisscross. You want to go underneath again. Again, avoiding this part. You don't want to be using it against this part. Then crisscross it around the front. Crisscross around the back. And then I know again, now I've not got enough to go back around, so I'm going to tie my knot and secure it in place. Oh, fantastic. Let's get you guys back higher up. There we go. Perfect. So, we are getting there on our teepee. So again, this is the part where you can use your knee. Makes it a really good rest. Glamorous assistant, have we got any answers to which bird builds the biggest nest? It's one of my favourite birds. They're very, very beautiful.
So Karen says ostrich, Lily says condor, Karen again albatross.
Albatross.
Alicia hammercops, and Andy golden eagle.
Ooh, Alicia, I like hammercops. Well done for guessing a hammercop. They do form really, really big nests. But it is the weaver bird. So the weaver bird is an African. Well done for all those guesses, guys. They are fantastic guesses. I would have probably, if my background wasn't animals, said ostrich as well. Being the biggest bird in the world, do you think pretty big nest? But it is actually the weaver birds. They're an African bird, and they can make these huge ornate nests up in trees. They look like huge haystacks up in trees, and they can actually house about 400 individuals within these huge nests, and they can be used for hundreds and hundreds of years. So they are absolutely phenomenal nests. They really, really are. One animal that I always suggest, look them up online. You won't believe the size of the nest until you look them up online. So that's your challenge, it's homework. Go and look up about bowerbirds and weaver birds, because they are fantastic birds. So I'm going to do my next piece of string on my strut. Here we go. It's starting to really take shape now. Crisscross around the front, crisscross around the back, take it under, crisscross over, take it round the back, crisscross under, crisscross front, crisscross back, round and take it under. Can I do that once more? Yes, I can, and I'm going to tie a knot just as I go around my bamboo cane, and that keeps it all in place. Oh, I've got part of the doorway open and the wind just keeps blustering on in. It's very windy today. So we've got our strut in place just there. I'm going to get second to last one now. We are almost completed on our teepee. Very, very exciting. So again, my other part, the back part, can support one side, so that's a really, really good help. Fantastic. So if you are building the teepee along with me and you are building it live, do take some pictures for me. I would love to see some pictures if you are doing it as well. If you're doing this afterwards, so you're not watching it live, but you are doing it later on, post a comment once you've done it. Show me what your lovely, lovely teepee looks like. I'd be very excited to see you all joining in. I do this regularly. I love the teepees, so I love having one to sit out in. So even if I might disassemble this later on, because I don't have a huge amount of space to store it, but I love keeping the sticks to make sure I can build one again in the future. So there we go, I've got that piece in place. And, oh, my quiz questions, let's see where they've got to. So, one of my final quiz questions, I've got 2 quiz questions left. And by the way, if you do have any animal questions, anything that you're wondering or don't know the answer to that, I might. So pop a question in the comments. If you've got any animal or any environmental related questions, I can try and answer them to the best of my ability. If not, I will always look them up and endeavour to get back to you. So if you've got any questions yourself, pop them in the comments and my glamorous assistant will read them out. But I've got 2 more questions for you guys. So my next question is paper wasps. Do they build their nests out of paper? True or false? Yes. Do paper wasps build their nest out of paper? True or false? Do paper wasps build their nest out of paper? True or false? So again, crisscross around the front, crisscross around the back, taking it up and under, over and under, crisscrossing it every time, and then tying a knot when you've not got any string to crisscross left. So there we go, in place. Oh, I'm on to the final piece now. That one was a bit high. It was a bit lopsided. Final piece of the Teepee puzzle about to be put into place. So you'll soon have your very own teepee. So again, make sure you've got half and half. Pop any comments in the questions column below as well, guys, and we'll read them out shortly. Once we've done this final section, we'll get the answers to the second to last quiz question. So you're going to take it underneath your strut, crisscross it over the front. You're going to take it behind your bamboo cane, crisscross behind, take it underneath, crisscross it on the front. Remember, do give it a good tug. Not so much that you pull your teepee over, but do give it and make sure it is fully crisscrossed and it's nice and secure. Round the back, crisscross around the front. Once you get into the swing of this as well, it becomes really, really easy. Second nature. You instantly just crisscross it over. Okay, I've got one more. Oh, can I get that through there? Is my fingers small enough? Oh, then I've got nimble enough fingers. Let's have a little look. Yes, I have. There we go. Crisscrossed in place. Final piece of string to go in. Very, very exciting. So there we go. I'm just going to push it up a little bit so I'm crisscrossing only this one to the bamboo cane, not attaching it to the other strut. Half and half again. Crisscross around the front. Crisscross around the back. Oh, this gets very fiddly on the last one. Crisscross around the front. Crisscross round the back. Oh, where have you gone, piece of string? Which one is it? There we go. Crisscross round the front. Crisscross round the back. I think this is what I'm going to be saying to myself all day. Crisscross. Crisscross. Fabulous. So, I can't take that around anymore. So I'm going to form a lovely tight knot. So, any answers to the question of paper wasps? Do they build their nest out of paper? True or false? Up to you guys. Pop those answers in the comments below. And da, 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 we have our very own teepees. Now, I am very, very happy with this. Mine is slightly lopsided. There we go. That's a little bit better. So, there is your very own teepee. Ta-da! Now, I'm not going to leave it just like that. I would die if I left my teepee just looking like this. We're going to turn it into a proper fully fledged, cool looking teepee. We're going to bring nature to it a little bit. We've got some vines to wrap around it, make it feel really homely. So your next part involves a bed sheet. Now, for a teepee of this size, I tend to use a king-sized bed sheet. You don't want a fitted bed sheet. You can use a fitted bed sheet, don't get me wrong. It will work, but it'll be a little bit more difficult. We all know how difficult it is to fold a fitted sheet. So imagine trying to hang it over a teepee, even worse. So you want just a normal bed sheet. not a fitted bed sheet, you want to be able to just hang it over. So I'm going to grab my bed sheet. Glamorous assistant, do we have any answers to the paper wasp question?
So Ruby says false and Carolyn and Andy say true.
Oh, Carolyn and Andy, you say true. Lydia, you say false. Well, the answer is, let me just get my sheet all the way out. It is true. So, true to a degree. It's not the same paper that you and I use to write on or newspapers are printed on. What paper wasps do is they get pieces of wood or like wooden material. They will start to chew it and bite it and break it down, and that is how they make paper. And they use that, they make it into almost like a pulp, and then that pulp goes into be making their hives. So they make really, really thin, and it almost does look just like paper. And their hives, they're very, very thin and delicate. And in the winter, their hives will actually be destroyed, and they have to rebuild them in the summer. Fabulous, well done. We've got one final question, and that's coming up very soon once we've completed our teepee. Now, the way you want to put your sheet over your teepee, there is no right or wrong way. You can put your sheet however you want. The best way that I find is if you get the corner of your bed sheet, so get one of the corners, and then from the corner, hold it like this, grab it like that, and then what I do is I throw it over, gently over my teepee like this, and then I start to hang the corner of my bed sheet over the front of my teepee, just like this. There we go. So you can see, there is the corner of my bed sheet, if you can see, just like that. Fantastic, and that just drapes over the front. I eventually wrap that up underneath to keep it secure. Make sure that it's not just hanging around, but I'll do that in a few moments. Then the back of your teepee, it's almost like a wedding dress, like a big veil. You want to make sure it goes around both sides. And because it's on those corner pieces at the front, you should have big enough sides that it will drape and hang over. Just like this. Here we go. So I'm going to wrap that under my teepee leg. With the door open, it might blow away. There we go. We've got another piece just here. I'm going to wrap that just underneath like that to keep it in place. And so I started to get my teepee look like an actual teepee. Bit lopsided, but hey ho, it doesn't matter. Now I can push the sides of my teepee in a little bit like this, wrap it underneath the bottom, and that will just keep it in place. Here we go. There we go. So you can see it a little bit better. And then going to fold this up into the top of my teepee structure. Just wrap it around the top there. It's that bit where it's formed a V shape at the very top that you can wrap around there. That way it starts to form your teepee. So there we go, we've got part of the way there. Let's bring that back around there. That looks a little bit prettier. Then I'm going to get my other little sheet. I've got a nice other little bed sheet that I like to put on the inside here. So make it nice and comfy. You can put anything down here, blankets, you can use another sheet, you can use just cushions. I like to make it really pretty. Some people even put lights on the inside, battery operated lights. I've then got some lovely cushions. They get to go in. Just like that. Bring that in a little bit. Some lovely little cushions. I've then got some of my stuffed animals. They can go inside there. And also, I've got some lovely vines. So these are just weeds. Some of these are Japanese, not weeds. Some of these are an invasive plant. So this is what I have taken out of my garden to help my own plants to grow, because trust me, Japanese knotweed is not fun. So what I'm going to do is, even though it's invasive, it's very pretty still when it's out on its own. I like to hang it over the edges of my teepee just like this, bringing nature indoors on a very blustery day. Let's get another little piece of knotweed. Here we go. Hang it round there. Also, if you've got a piece that is big enough, what you can do is you can wrap it around. That's what I like to do. And if it's long enough, you can tie it at the back, so you don't even need to use tape, which is actually a form of microplastic once it breaks down. So you can actually just tie it like this, and that way it stays in place without using any tape. Oh, there we go. Oh, it doesn't like it. Let's see if I can hang that one back up there. Let's see. Will it stay in place? That is the question. Oh, I don't think it's going to stay in place. Let's give it one more go. What have you got to? Let's have a little look. There you are. Let's tie it together. One final go. If not, I've got some other bits just there that might just work. There we go. So tie that up. Make sure that is over your teepee just like that, so you get the full effect. Got some other nice big pieces of knotweed too, so this can go all the way around the front just like that. Go around the back, tie it together. Oh, it's starting to look so pretty. Remember, we've got one final quiz question as well. Go. Oh, it is starting to look so pretty. Hang that over the top just like there. And I've got a few other pieces as well. Where could I hang you? Remember, it's not about being a perfectionist. It is however you want to decorate your teepee. You could have lights on it, you could have colourful flowers, but when you're picking flowers, don't go and just pick them off the trees or from a flowering plant. Make sure the ones that have kind of fallen to the ground, you don't want to be taking any of those beautiful plants away, especially from the pollinators that desperately need them. These are all weeds that were taken out because we were doing the garden. Here we go. You can wrap it around just like that. The beautiful thing with these, they're so flowing, it makes it look really pretty. And that, guys, is our very own teepee! So I hope you've enjoyed building it. It's not the easiest of things, but once you do it, hello missus, once you do it, it is actually really cool. And on a glorious day like today, with the wind, it's actually nice to have your own little shelter that you can go up into, and you can relax in and look at how windy it is outside, but you're lovely and snug in your own teepee. So it's actually lovely to have one of these inside on a day like today. What I tend to like to do with my teepee is sometimes I'll get my book. I love reading some of these books that I've got at home. So I'll sit inside and I'll have a little bit of a read, and it's my space, my time to do whatever I want. For me, maybe to focus on myself, my health, my well-being, my mental health, especially during this week as it is Mental Health Awareness Week. I do also love to listen to some podcasts, so I might plug my podcasts in, chill out, forget the world exists, sitting in my teepee, decorate it how I wish, stick more cuddly animals in. I've got loads of stuffed teddies, stick them in there and just chill out and forget everything and listen to my podcast. So it's really fun. All the kids can use it. I know our kids will tend to use this as a den, as a secret den. So it's really good fun. Utilise it how you deem fit. So a final quiz question of the day before I say goodbye to everybody. Now, do all ants make their nest underground? Do all ants make their nest underground? Pop it your answer in the comments below, and my glamorous assistant over on my side will let me know if any comments come through. But I do want to just say a massive, great big thank you to you all for joining in, because it is fantastic to have such dedicated people joining in every week to do these amazing crafts and to help us to connect with nature. Because unfortunately at the moment, the way the world is, we are very disconnected from each other and from nature. But by doing these crafts and coming to you live through the Palm House Facebook page, it really does help us all to stay connected and to stay loving nature and loving the environment in these very difficult times. If you are unsure of what I'm talking about with my other videos, feel free to check on my own Facebook page, The Urban Environmentalist. You can pop that into Google. I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, Instagram, I've got Twitter and YouTube, so you can get all my videos on any of these social media platforms. I've made stuff like pollination stations last week, bird feeders, bug hotels, so really simple crafts that you can do at home as a family to be able to connect with nature very, very easily. Now next week, hopefully, hopefully think I'm going to be back next week. If you've enjoyed it, let us know so I can come back next week. But if you are going to join us next Saturday at 2 o'clock, we will be making a hedgehog house. So do come and join us to make our own hedgehog houses. It's going to be very, very exciting. Again, really, really simple. Don't be worried and typing it in on Google, what do I need? I'll do a video later on in the week that will tell you exactly what you need. But roughly all you're really going to need is a piece of a plastic box, some sticks, some leaves, any old foliage that you can find, especially after the winds. There'll be loads of leaves and sticks off the trees, so go and collect them now. You might also need a bit of newspaper and a bit of piping or some wood to make a little tunnel. That's all you're going to need to make your own hedgehog house, which will be perfect when the hedgehogs come into hibernation over the winter months. So get it in place now so it smells of nature and the animals are very used to it. So it's perfect to be doing at this time of the year to put into place for when they do go into hibernation. So Glamorous Assistant, do we have any final answers on the quiz question of do all ants make their nest underground? Yes! You guys have all got it spot on. Well done. If you said no, that is very, very true. Not all ants make their nest underground. Lots of ants, especially a special type of ant called the Australian weaver, they actually make their nests out of leaves. They might use one leaf. If it's a very small colony, they might use one leaf. If they are a really big colony, they'll use multiple leaves and they'll form them all together. So it's very, very exciting. They bind them with silk. So it's very, very exciting stuff if you are an Australian weaver ant. But you are spot on. Well done. Those were not easy quiz questions as well, guys. So you all did fantastic. Well done. Give yourselves a big clap. Well done, especially if you built your own teepee. Now, I think it is time to relax in my own teepee. I absolutely love making these. They're so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you so much to the Palm House for allowing me to come live onto their Facebook page. This will be posted on my own Facebook page as well, so you can catch up anytime via the Palm House's Facebook page or mine and build this at any point whenever you have all of the items to do so. So hopefully I will see you all next week. Thank you so much to the Palm House for allowing this craft to go ahead, for helping us to stay connected during these difficult times and to be running such an eventful programme this week, especially for Mental Health Awareness Week. It's very important and a very important cause close to my heart. So I have loved being involved this week especially. Hopefully we'll see you all next week then on Saturday at 2 o'clock for our hedgehog house. We'll see you all soon, guys. Stay safe and have a very, very good week. See you soon. Bye for now.